Guys, we're going live and we have so much to talk about on this edition of War Week Boxing Chats. I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to talk about Canelo Williams Skull. We're going to talk about Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero. We're also going to be talking about Dana White and Turki Al-Sheikh making their big announcement. All this and much, much more on the latest edition of War Week Boxing Chat.
Vashon Holdings proudly presents War Week Radio Chats with ring announcer Joseph Herron.
Guys, welcome. Happy Thursday to all of you guys. I'll tell you what, it's just me by my lonesome. So I already put down the chat, the link in the chat. If you guys would like to join me, please do so, because I'm going to be on here for a little while. We've got a lot of items up for bid on The Price is Right. A lot of things to talk about, guys. We just finished seeing Canelo Williams Skull in their initial face-off. And guys, if you're holding out hope, all you Canelo haters, that hoping that Williams Skull has a chance to win, pull off the massive upset before the Crawford fight. It's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. Just go watch William Skull fight. He fights like a damn amateur, using his footwork as the foundation of his defense. So he pulls himself way out of range rather than sitting in the pocket, leaning to one side, using upper body and head movement to slip and counter effectively. He doesn't do that. He fights like a damn amateur. And unlike Dimitri Bivol, who is very good at doing that sewing machine needle in moving in and out of range effectively, he doesn't do that. He pulls himself all the way out of range, a la Vladimir Klitschko. So he's not in position to counter effectively. This is going to be a terrible fight, guys. But I will say this, I'm happy that it's going to be offered via pay-per-view in prime time on May 3rd. So they're going to be doing this very early in the morning on May 4th, technically, in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So that's good news. But I'll tell you what, guys, we're going to talk all about Dana White as well. Oh, boy, and I have a lot to say about all of that. Chingao. But I tell you what, let's I have to show you guys this. This is hilarious. So I have to show you guys this. This is really funny. And I'm going to wait till this is pulled up, right? So I can see this. I can show you guys this. This is hilarious. It says Devin Haney lost his civil suit against Ryan Garcia, right? And this is what the judge said. Judge Henry Simpson was presiding over this. He says, look, this is a 12-page frivolous suit for battery and bodily harm. And he said this, you are a combat sports athlete. Bodily harm simply cannot be avoided. You signed up for this. Quit wasting taxpayer money and this court's time. Dismissed. In other words, can you say you're gay without actually saying that you're gay? Ching, gal. But we already knew that was going to happen, guys. Like, honestly, I'm surprised they actually made the effort and showed up to court, because it's a waste of time. And he already got his rematch. There's a scheduled rematch for October. So why did he even waste his time showing up to court? Thinking that he was going to use this as leverage to get favorable terms? Like, you have to ask yourself, why did he go through this trouble? Because now he looks like an even bigger fool. Like, what a waste of time. So anyway, I just had to chuckle. I thought that was hilarious. But guys, we're gonna, speaking of Canelo, we're gonna start things off here, and this is quite shocking, actually. This is from WBO president Gustavo Oliveri, and I'm actually quite surprised about this. Speaking of Canelo, this is quite funny. And I'm actually surprised that we're hearing this. But hey, let's do this correctly. I know he's not just a fan, but we have to start things off by playing this, because this is truly a terrible fan take, even though he's a very good boxing attorney and a very smart individual. And you just have to question why he's taking this position. So we're going to start things off by doing this.
Terrible fan takes on Twitter/X.
Goodness gracious, guys. Tell me you can hear this.
People want to see Benavidez Canelo instead of Crawford Canelo, right? But that has not happened. Benavidez was the WBC 168 mandatory. The question was, why wasn't the mandatory enforced? You got to ask Team Benavidez and his promoter, Samson, why wasn't the mandatory 168 forced?
Well, they chose to go up and wait. They believe
No. That's another thing, brother. Ask the question. Call his promoter and ask him, why didn't they enforce the mandatory 168?
The answer I've always gotten is that Canelo does what he wants. You can't force Canelo to fight you.
No. But ask. That's untrue. Ask his team why, when he was 168, they didn't enforce the mandatory. People want to see Benavidez Canelo instead of Crawford.
Okay, that's enough. That's actually quite disturbing. When a very knowledgeable boxing guy says, no, that's not true. Yes, that is true. And Samson Lukowicz was very clear in stating, no, we're not going to do that. Mauricio Suleiman is my friend, and I'm not going to do that to him. And what he meant by saying that was, this is already the weakest time we've seen the sanctioning organizations ever. And we're not going to make him look even weaker by pulling the trigger on the mandatory challenger position and just having Canelo dump the title. Because that was a certainty. He's done it before. He had just done this with the IBF. Now he's fighting William Skull anyway. It's like, but he wouldn't have done that with David Benavidez. And David Benavidez was only sticking around at 68 to face Canelo. So if he's not going to face Canelo, why stay to fight for a title at 168? It makes no sense. So why is Gustavo Oliveira saying this crap? To make the WBO look okay, I guess? I have no idea, but he should know better. Everyone in this business understands the reality of this. You cannot force Canelo to fight someone he doesn't want to fight. Not Turki Al-Sheikh, not Al Heyman, not Jake Paul, not anybody. At this stage of Canelo's career, He fights when he wants, where he wants, and who he wants. He has no problem telling someone to get the F out of here. I'll tell you what were your guys' thoughts on this press conference? It was very uneventful. But it was good to see Canelo back in front of people talking about his next event. And I love the Canelo who speaks English. Did you guys catch this also? He called his fans culeros. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious. And it's funny. I got a text from my brother Thomas Schreiber while this was going on. And he said, Joseph, does William Skull have any chance to pull off the upset? And I said, no chance in hell. In the immortal words of Vince McMahon, no chance in hell, guys. Not a chance. Zilch, zero. Once again, go watch him fight. He was lucky to get the decision against Vladimir Shishkin. What a terrible fight that was. This guy doesn't throw any punches. And when he does throw, he just leans in and ties you up. And instead of making you miss, looking to counter effectively, his footwork is the foundation of his defense, and he pulls himself all the way out. This is going to be a dreadful fight, guys, in terms of action. Oh, my gosh. And I'm really not looking forward to it. Thank goodness there are some good style matchups and some decent fights the night before, because that's going to be the real fun event. We get to see Rolly Romero get KTFO'd. And it's funny, I was talking to one of my fighters, Mr. Rob Gonzalez. He may be joining us a little bit later. He was actually saying, that, yeah, he thinks Rolly Romero is going to get knocked out in the fourth. I'm like, you're being nice. Honestly, I can't see him making it past 3, and I'm being nice by saying that. Rolly Romero is not just a semi-retired fighter, but he also still doesn't know how to fight. He's terrible. And I like Rolly Romero on a personal level. He's a nice kid. And he talks a lot of shit. And honestly, he got this assignment. This is a perfect tune-up for Ryan Garcia. After a year layoff, this is a perfect assignment for him. Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez. If this were the Jose Ramirez who was fighting Josh Taylor, I would say he has a chance. This is customarily an excellent style matchup for fans. But Jose Ramirez is shot. This is going to be a perfect tune-up for Devin Haney also being out of the ring for an entire year. The fighter who's going to get upset, though, on Saturday or on Friday, May 2nd, is going to be Teofimo Lopez. And I will bet my 2 bits on that. Yeah, Sal has the beat. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you. TEO is already a very poor aggressor. He is an ineffective aggressor. He is absolutely worthless when he has to take the lead. He looks very average because he can't cut off the ring and close the distance effectively. He's not assertive enough to take the lead proficiently. And against a real, very intelligent counterpuncher, yeah, he's in trouble. He's not going to get knocked out, but he's going to lose decisively. If he thought Sandor Martin was tough, yeah, look out. I like Arnold Barbosa big in this one. This is a terrible style matchup. This is just as bad as if he took the assignment with Richardson Hitchens. Terrible. Micah Shaw, welcome to the show, sir. Yeah, I'm tired of Canelo's BS. Well, like him or not, he is still the biggest draw in North America. He is the big swinging dick in the ring. You can't refute that. He's definitely bigger than Tank Davis. Bigger draw than Tank Davis. I'll tell you what, guys, and once again, I'm sure, and we told you guys on Tuesday what to expect, that the New York State Athletic Commission was not going to overturn this decision of a majority draw, and we explained why. I know Ronnie Shields thought that he had a chance, but there's so many different things to take into consideration. Once again, they stood by their man, Steve Willis, and said, well, you know what? It wasn't unreasonable. Whatever the hell that means, but it's not enough evidence in watching it to overturn the decision made by the 3 judges at ringside. Because we talked about that on Tuesday. The reason why you can't is because it's then becomes very unfair to Tank Davis. Now, if you were going to score that a knockdown, you should have done that in the 9th. Because Tank Davis, I can promise you this, would have had a new perception of the fight if he's in the hole. And then you take another point because of Coach Calvin Ford getting on the ring apron. Lucky he wasn't DQ'd. But if you take it becomes a 3-point round then, 10-7 in favor of Lamont Roach. I can promise you this, Tank Davis comes out in the 10th with a greater sense of urgency than he showed. That's the problem. That's the reason why it becomes then terribly unfair to Tank Davis. That's why that's not being overturned, guys. The best that they're going to be able to do, the WBA as well as the New York State Athletic Commission, is have a rematch. Now, here's the question. Do you want this rematch to take place in New York? If I'm everyone involved, I'm saying hell no. I'm going to put it in D.C. or Baltimore. Because I'm sorry. Do you trust these guys? Because they, in 2 big events with, respectively, a.k.a. Dave Chappelle, Harvey Doc, and then Steve Willis, both potentially almost ruining both big-time events. Here's the problem, guys. No one's fighting in New York anymore. They are out of practice. They are making mistakes worse than, you remember Texas, before Texas started getting all the big events? Texas used to blunder like this because they weren't accustomed to staging the big time events. And so now New York, there's club shows don't even take place in New York anymore. So they're completely out of practice. Like, why wasn't the replay? Why wasn't there a replay where you could do instant replay? Why did the timekeeper stop counting? This was a huge blunder by the New York State Athletic Commission, and they know it. But it becomes terribly unfair to Tank Davis and his team if you overturn the decision. And I knew this was going to happen. So there it is. Hawker Mustang, welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, I know, Outlaw and Blade as usual, my friend. Good to see you, my brother. But I tell you what, guys, we have still so much to talk about. I don't even know what the odds are for Canelo and William Skull. It's probably going to be about 10-1. Canelo being a betting favorite because William Skull is lucky to be here. A big physical. He's a real 168 pounder. And you saw him towering over Canelo. But he's a fighter who looks good, but he doesn't throw any punches. And he doesn't want to take any risks. This is going to be a terribly uneventful fight, guys, and I already know this to be true. He is not going to put himself in harm's way, and it's going to be terrible for the fans. The real fun fights are going to be the night before in New York. Let's just hope the State Athletic Commission don't screw this one up. Are they going to screw this one up too? We'll see. They may. But guys, the link is in the chat. Click the link if you want to chop it up with me. Because we're still going to talk about a lot of stuff. Ryan Garcia proved that he's still the big draw. And Teofimo mouthing off, trying to steal the limelight from the guys who are the genuine ticket sellers. Ryan Garcia, Rolly Romero, Teofimo Lopez was acting the fool. He couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night, and he's from New York. And unfortunately, he's going to lose. And I stand by that. I'd bet my house on it. This is the worst possible style, and Teofimo knows this. This is why he didn't make this fight before when he had the opportunity. Because he's not going to win. It's going to make him look very ordinary. He is great when guys come right at him. This is why I couldn't understand when Top Rank gave him the opportunity to fight Subriel Matias. Why didn't he take that fight? It would make him look like a superstar. Instead, he's fighting a very problematic style matchup in Arnold Barbosa. Barbosa is going to beat him in every facet of that fight. And guys, I hate to say this. Looking at the schedule, there's nothing going on, at least nothing I'm interested in, until April 12th. Which is Jaron Boots Ennis versus Imantas Stanionis. But guys, and look, and there's a reason for that. We're seeing female boxing this weekend. No thanks. I'd rather go outside and watch my grass grow. I'm sorry, not a huge fan of female boxing. And I know that it was just announced for the trilogy of Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. No thanks. I don't care. I really don't care. I know everyone thought that the first two fights were barn burners. Hey, you can have that. I hope you guys enjoy it. Whoever likes that stuff. But I don't. I've never been a fan of female boxing. And you can't make me. But that's the only thing, guys, on the boxing calendar coming up. What's happening, brother? How you doing, Alonzo? Good to see you, my friend. But, guys, let's get into this, okay? I'm going to pull up the quotes from Dana White. This is quite irritating. And Dana White has been building his brand. And he's grown accustomed to casting aspersions of our beloved boxing. And he's grown so accustomed to doing it that idiots who don't know any better start believing this shit. Well, you got your chance now. Yeah, bitch bouts. Yeah. Good to see you, Big Luke, my brother in Christ. How you doing, my friend? So what is he going to do now? Right? This is what he had to say about this, guys. Now I'm reading quotes, and it's nonsense. It's absolute nonsense, guys. Now, once again, it's in partnership with Turki Al-Sheikh, Dana White, and WWE President Nick Khan. And Turki Al-Sheikh says this landmark partnership between industry powerhouses sets the stage for an unparalleled experience for boxers and fans. Together, we are developing the next generation of talent and delivering world-class events at a time when the sport is prime for further disruption. Okay, well, that sounds decent. He also stated this on X. Turkey El Sheikh's account says, today marks a new chapter in boxing history. I'm thrilled about this great partnership with those I consider the best for the sport. Together, we will elevate it to new heights. And my brother Thomas Triber was a little nervous. He was like, well, what does this mean? What does this mean for the sport? What does this mean for guys like Frank Warren, Eddie Hearn, Golden Boy Promotions, Top Rank? What does this mean? And he said this is what Dana White had to say. I wouldn't be where I am today without boxing. The sport of boxing is where I started. I felt like it was something that could never be fixed until Turkey El Sheikh showed up. He's done more for boxing than any promoter in the history of the sport. He's invested more money, more energy, more passion into the sport than literally ever. There aren't a lot of people who I would like to deal with like this. And he said this, we have the same vision and I trust this league. In a short time, we will crush everything. And he said this, Dana White, consistently casting aspersions to our beloved boxing. He said, everyone knows the format, the best fight the best. That's what we do at UFC, and that's what we're going to do in boxing. You work your way up the rankings, and once somebody breaks into the top 5, there's no question who the best 5 guys in the world are in each weight class, and they fight it out. And then once somebody holds that belt, you don't need 3 letters in front of the belt. Whoever has 1 belt is the best in the world in that weight class. He said the best is going to start fighting the best. Newsflash to Dana White. The best have been fighting the best. Or didn't you see that superb fight card on February 22nd? If that isn't the epitome of the best fighting the best, then Baldy, you need to learn something. He's an idiot. And we're just getting started. We're going to explain exactly how Dana White is a freaking idiot. Once again, the best have been fighting the best. This is what we've been seeing at Riyadh season events. We just saw another fight for undisputed at 175 pounds. We just saw Joseph Parker versus Martin Bakoli. We just saw Virgil Ortiz versus Israel Madrimov. So what the hell is he referring to? In my opinion, he has just grown accustomed to casting aspersions at our beloved boxing, and he's just gotten used to regurgitating this nonsense. Well, what does he mean, the best fighting the best? What fighters are he going to use? You think Golden Boy is going to let him use his fighters? Oscar? You think Eddie is? You think Top Rank is? You think Frank Warren is? No. Guys, expect this to look like The Contender. And it's going to be on Netflix. Oh, we're going to fight the best. Dude, you're going to stick him in tough. Immediately. Hold on real quick, guys. I'm going to put out the link, right? Hey, Io, how you doing? Why don't you join me if you can, my friend? Good to see you, brother. That's guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother, Corey Bradshaw. He does a great job with his partner, JJ Solomon at the Spit Bucket. Go check it out, guys. Look, guys, this is going to be another contender series. But here's the problem. He's going to stick guys in tough at the 4, 6, and 8 round levels. Does this guy have any clue on how to cultivate attractions in boxing? Now, here's the biggest difference between UFC and boxing. He promotes the brand. He doesn't give two shits about the individual fighters. In boxing, we've always promoted the individual matchups. Does he realize how long it takes to build a Canelo Alvarez? How long it takes to build a Ryan Garcia, a Tank Davis, a Floyd Mayweather, a Manny Pacquiao, an Oscar De La Hoya? Does he realize? Does he even know how? Does he even know how to cultivate and season fighters at the 4, 6, and 8 round stages? I can promise you this, they're not cultivated by sticking them in tough at the 4 round level. That's what you do with club fighters who can't sell tickets. But guys, this is the problem. Once again, he's used to promoting his brand. He couldn't care less about individual talent. He's like, screw it. I'm going to stick him in tough. So how do you plan on cultivating superstars in boxing when you're not giving them that appropriate seasoning at the 4, 6, and 8 round levels? And does he have the matchmakers in place who know what they're doing? Because you can't just snap your fingers. Once again, how long did it take to build something like Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao? How long did it take to build Canelo Alvarez versus Gennady Golovkin? You can't just snap your fingers and it happens. Unlike the NFL, where you already have matchups in place over decades and decades and decades of time. Unlike the MLB, in which you know the Yankees are going to play the Red Sox 14 times every year. That's already been in place. So it doesn't matter who is wearing the jersey. The Red Sox are always going to play the Yankees. In boxing, where it's an individual sport, we don't have that luxury. You have to build these matchups, and it happens organically. Because the real fans of boxing are the ones who create the demand. Guys, at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce my brother, Corey Bradshaw from the 214. Corey, how art thou, my friend?
Smoking Joe, what's popping?
I tell you what, we're just getting our 2 cents off on asshole Dana White. You could put a dot on the top of his head and it would look like my cock. Yes, I said it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, how
But
about
Joe,
that one to start it off?
I've been listening though, right?
Hey, so what are your thoughts on Dana White trying to reinvent the boxing wheel?
I'm open to it. I'm open to it, Joe. I'm open to it. Like, how good?
So wait a minute. What is he saying though? Oh, the best are going to start fighting the best. Dude, the best have been fighting the best if he hasn't noticed. I'm sorry. Look, you think these promoters are just going to give him their fighters? Like, I know his events are going to start off with 2 free agents in Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, but what after that? What after that?
I mean, that's what's yet to be determined, Joe. Like I said, I'm open to it. Like, I'm with it like this. The hypocrisy of boxing that's been going on for this generation, it's been pitiful, right? And this is a wake-up call for all the promoters around the world. Y'all gonna let Dana White come in here and steal y'all territory? Or y'all gonna do the right thing and stand on business going forward? Because one thing I do know about Dana White, whether you like him or not, Dana White is a guy who makes it happen. Look at the UFC, the 30 years of the UFC. The UFC is booming right now. Can he replicate that into boxing? I don't know. It took 30 years for the UFC to do this, right? And you got a lot of these prima donna fighters out here, right? Who ain't gonna be willing to, go along, get along, right? At first with Dana White. So how long is it gonna take him? I don't know, right? But I'm open to it because I see the magical he do with the UFC and been doing with the UFC, right? So I'm open to it, Joe. Like how good he gonna do, who knows? But this right here should put pressure on these fucking American promoters and all these overseas fucking promoters who ain't been doing the right thing.
What do you mean who ain't been doing the right thing? What did we just see on February 22nd, sir? If that isn't the right thing, I don't know what is.
Well, yeah, but Joseph, Turkey Al-Sheikh had to bring all them guys together. It's not like them guys say, kumbaya, 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 let's get together and do this. Turkey
Guys,
Al-Sheikh had...
make no mistake. I'll tell you the real, okay? This is the reason why this is happening. Think about this. Is it any coincidence that he made this announcement? Now, we told you guys a long time ago when you got Mamons trying to tell us, oh, Turkey Al-Sheikh, he doesn't care about making his money back. Are you sure about that? Is that why he just signed KSI for his UK events? Dude, this is no coincidence that he made this announcement when the numbers came back from the pay-per-view on the last crescendo, and they were pitiful in the U.S. market.
They were pitiful.
Dude, they didn't even reach
45,000?
Yep, 45,000 purchases.
You called it, though, Joe. You said it was going to be a shit show.
And once again, and I'm calling this is going to look like the Contender Series, which was cool. But it's a far cry from the best fighting the best. And here's the cool thing. It's more than likely going to be on Netflix. And let me tell you what the best thing is going to come out of this. He can no longer shit on our beloved boxing, because now it's him. Is he going to keep shitting on the sport of boxing now? No. That's the best thing that's going to come out of this. Maybe he'll get his mindless fans from the UFC to start giving boxing a fair look.
I don't know, though, because it depends on I don't know. Turkey Al-Sheikh making things happen. But with Dana White...
And how's that working out in the American market?
I mean, I'm talking about... but Joseph, you forget this is World Championship boxing. I know America, the stars at night are big and bright, all of that. I get it. But this is called World Championship boxing, right? And America has been failing us over these years. They have, Joseph. We can't sit up here and
In what way, sir?
I know, but listen, Joe, we can't put that in the closet and close the door. Like, these guys ain't been allowing these YouTubers to come in. They ain't been allowing Jake Paul to be the highest grosser.
No. You're putting the blame on the wrong party. Do you know why we are seeing circus events? Because the diehard fans are no longer financially supporting the product any longer. I'm going to repeat this one more time. Hold on. I'm going to ask you one more time. How are those pay-per-view sales?
No, they suck. But
exactly. Why is that? Because this card did not appeal to a larger mainstream and casual demographic. It exclusively appealed to the diehards. And did they once again fail to come through? Yes. That's the reason why this is happening. That's the reason why Jake Paul exploded. That's the reason why he's getting these dates
exactly.
on Netflix, because he pulls a larger mainstream and casual demographic.
Yeah, but
KSI. Why do you think Turkey Al-Sheikh just signed KSI?
I mean,
because he's a real fighter?
Joe, if I was a businessman, I'd do it too. But let's get back to these American fighters. Let's talk about Tank real quick. Let's talk about the New York State Athletic Commission and how they look the other way, Joe. Let's talk about
Wait a minute.
Steve
Look
Willis,
the other way. Okay.
how he
State your
looked.
case, my friend. State your case. State your
Let's
case.
talk about Steve Willis, you know, how he looked the other way. Let's talk about PBC, how they look the other way. Let's talk about the New York State
Hey, whoa, whoa,
Athletic
whoa, whoa,
Commission.
whoa. Look. PBC, all they do is stage the event. They're not responsible
I
for
know,
sanctioning it.
but still, they look the other way. That was their guy.
They're not. They're going to schedule a rematch.
Man, listen, Joe, listen. This is what I'm saying. The New York Athletic State Commission looked the other way. Let me tell you the hypocrisy, Joseph Herron, the hypocrisy. See, the New York State Athletic Commission, they willing to fine Ryan Garcia, suspend him, you know, do all them things to him, right? But they won't hold accountability for their own goddamn self. They ain't holding accountability how everybody's seen with their own two eyes that Tank Davis got down on his knee. That was a flagrant. How his coach came up on that ring. That was a flagrant. But what the New York State Athletic Commission do? They look the other way. You know why? Because this is what boxing has come to. It's a popular sport in America. A popular sport. If you a guy, you know what the New York Athletic State Commission did? They know Tank Davis is a major deal in New York. So you know why they'll hold Ryan Garcia accountable quickly. But when it comes to Tank Davis, they look the other way, Joseph. That's why boxing is like it is. Because it's us. Because I had Lamont Roach winning that fight. I don't know how you had it. I had him winning.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lamont Roach?
Yes.
I had it to draw. Just like once again, if Steve Willis actually did his job. And this is why the New York, and I talked about this already before you came on, but I'll say it again. The reason why the New York State Athletic Commission could not overturn the outcome is because it's not fair to Tank Davis then. Because what happens if you call that a knockdown post-fight?
So hold up. So it wasn't fair to Devin Haney, right? And the New York
I'm
State
sorry, what?
I said it wasn't fair to Devin Haney.
No, dude. I called him out.
No,
I
know.
already called him out.
Let me explain myself real quick.
No. Okay, keep going.
It wasn't fair for Devin Haney, right? But the New York Athletic State Commission, they did the right thing. Now, when they come to Tank Davis, like they want to be fair. No, they look the other way, Joseph. It ain't no way around it. I can't trust these guys no more. I have no faith.
Wait, whoa. Hold on. Are you saying that it's corruption and not incompetence?
Absolutely corruption. Joseph,
Prove it.
Me, everybody around the world seen that. Like it comes a time when you have to do the right thing. And that was the moment. And look, this is another thing why it pissed me off, right? Because fighters work their way up. It's hard, Joseph. You know it. You're a former fighter. You people know it who done cover boxing, who be in the gym, who see these fighters go through these blood, sweat, and tears and having to work jobs and do all this and take care of their family and still go to the gym. And when they finally make it to the pinnacle to get this moment, like Lamont Roach did, and to have it wiped away because Steve Willis, PBC, and the New York State Athletic Commission look the other way. That is a travesty in boxing. It's blasphemy at its highest, Joseph Herron.
So wait a minute. So this is what was stated, right, by the New York State Athletic Commission. The WB and the WBA, they confirmed that the no knockdown ruling in round 9 was correct.
Wow.
Yeah. So once again, and I'm trying to tell you why. Because what happens in the middle of the fight if they actually rule that a knockdown and then take an additional point for Coach Calvin being nice because they easily could have DQ'd him.
That should have been disqualified, Joe.
Listen, brother. What if they scored a knockdown, take off an additional point, and it becomes a 10-7 round in favor of Lamont Roach in round number 9.
And
So
that's what it's.
you
Listen,
can't
Joseph.
tell me then that creates a greater sense of urgency for Tank Davis, and he would still come out just looking half-ass and unmotivated. No. That's why I'm saying you can't overturn this.
No, you have to, though. You like Joseph. I
Dude,
get what you're saying.
what do you mean you have to?
You have to. But it's not going to be done because they made their ruling, right? But this is what take a lot of credibility away from them, right? Like going forward, especially with me included, going forward, I lost a lot of respect for the New York State Athletic Commission, right? Because like I say, I think about the fighter, right? I think about Lamont Roach and how he supposed to have his moment in history, right? Because I said the only way he could beat him if we get a Buster Douglas moment. It wasn't like that he knocked Tyson out like Buster Douglas did, but he beat Tank. Tank took a knee and to market on that. They disqualified Roy Jones Jr. When Roy Jones Jr. hit Montel Griffin when he was on the ground, what they were supposed to do.
That's right. Now keep in mind, and I stated this earlier, Correa. Why are we still staging events in New York? They are out of practice. Dude, there aren't even club shows. Several fighters and boxing guys who live in New York. They tell me that, dude, we don't even have club shows here. So that means these guys aren't working. They're out of practice. Do you remember back before Texas started staging big-time events? Do you remember how terrible the judges were? How inept the sanctioning or how inept the commission was? Yeah. They were making blunders like this initially. But now we have all of the big events. So does Nevada. So why are they continuing to stage events in New York? They're completely inept at this point. So here, Outlaw states this. The New York State Electoral Commission has instant replay, and they still failed. Yes, because they weren't prepared. They screwed up. So are they going to overturn the decision because of that? No, and I already explained why.
But Joseph, you saying like
because I can guarantee you this: if that's ruled a knockdown in which it should have been, because in what universe is that not a knockdown? When a fighter takes a knee,
and
that's an automatic.
In what universe is it not a disqualification with Calvin Ford coming up to the top ropes? That's the next thing. Everybody's
now
talking about.
Now listen. That's not an automatic. That's up to the discretion of the referee.
But he came up there with a towel, Joseph.
I know that. And he could have easily scored that a DQ. But he chose not to.
You know why?
And why?
Because Tank was the biggest star, and he looked the other way.
No, stop. You're jumping to conclusions. I'll tell you the realistic reason why. Here's the real reason why. Because no official in a fight of that magnitude wants to be the difference maker with a packed house on pay-per-view. No one wants an event to end like that.
Really, Joseph? Well, Joseph, and you're right. But guess what?
You're right. Hey, Craig, don't take my word for it.
No, you're right.
Why don't you call up a referee and ask him?
No, you're right. I'm telling you that you are 100% correct on that. No referee wants to do that. But at the end of the day, he still did it, Joseph. Listen, I like Steve Willis. He still put himself in position to where he messed the fight up.
Yep, he did. He made a judgment call. And that's
why did he start counting and stop?
Because the timekeeper stopped counting too.
Why did the timekeeper stop counting?
You've been to enough events where the timekeeper starts the count and he keeps counting.
Yeah, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
He stopped. Not only did the timekeeper not count, did you ever see the timekeeper counting? No. Not only did the timekeeper not count, but they didn't even have the provisions in place for instant replay. They completely screwed up.
And this is why I look at it now, Joe. How do we know if Lamont Roach gonna beat Tank again in the next fight? It ain't no guarantee he gonna beat Tank that next fight. And then guess what? His
Well, then
moment.
what the hell are we arguing about?
No, that's what I'm saying. No, he's supposed to beat him the first time. I'm not arguing. That should have been him as the victor.
Gray, you're looking at one part of this only. In my opinion, BOO, HOO. Now, I'm sorry, Lamont, one call does not make the entire fight, just like in football. One flag does not make the entire game.
Okay, Joseph.
No. You listen, Corey. Listen to me, brother. If you wanted not to leave it up in the hands of the judges or one single foul, you should have let your hands go in the first half of the fight. You did nothing. You gave away the entire first half of the fight.
I didn't see it that way.
Of course you didn't.
No, I didn't see it that way to where it was competitive them first couple of rounds. It wasn't
Dude, those were the first 6 rounds were all swing rounds that could have easily gone either way. Yeah, and with Lamont Roach being the underwhelming B-side, how do you think the judges at ringside saw it? 2 of them scored it 5-1 in favor of Tank Davis. So if he's crying about this, he only has himself to blame. That's what I'm saying, Lamont. That's what I'm saying, Corey. You're not looking at the entire thing.
I am, but I totally disagree
with
what
the fuck?
No, I disagree with that, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree with it, right? Because you stated that one call shouldn't make a football game or a basketball game or.
Hey, first of all, big shout out to my brother Rob Gonzalez. He's doing his road work and he just ran by my house. Love you, brother.
Shout out to Rob Gonzalez.
He's training for a fight for May 10th at La Cantera in San Antonio. He's going to make his pro debut. Going to make us proud. Love you, brother. I'm sorry. As you work, Ray. Keep going, man.
No, but what you like I said, I totally disagree. But you right, but you wrong, right? And I'm going to tell you what you right about. You right about one play shouldn't make a game or a fight, right? But it's been instances where that one play, that one missed call they got, it made the game or the fight. And this is an instance. If he would have did the right thing and kept counting, Lamont Roach would be the new champion of the world because it would be.
You don't know that. And look. I'm going to explain this one more time, Corey, and then we're going to move on, brother, okay? I'm going to explain this one more time because you don't know how that would have changed the mindset of Tank Davis. If he's now facing a deficit of a 10-8 or 10-7 round, you don't know how he comes out in the 10th, the 11th, and the 12th. He could have knocked him out. He would have definitely had a greater sense of urgency. You cannot disagree with that, correct?
Yeah, but we're going off ifs now, Joe. You're saying if, right?
Yeah,
I get what you're saying, but
that's right. If.
No, but you're saying if, Joe.
Exactly. That's the problem. And look, I don't care about being right or wrong in this situation. I'm explaining why this ruling was made the way it was made.
And listen, what I'm saying is, we've seen the scorecards.
Yep.
So we could you could say how Tank could have came out or whatever. I can't go off how he could have came out. I got to go off what I've seen in the fight.
Well, that's look. So I'm going to say this once again. So if you are crying now about getting a draw, then damn it, you should have put forth a stronger case in the first half of the fight.
blame Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach, you shouldn't be mad about the judges in the
Dude,
New York.
I'm not
And
mad about
let me say what I
anything.
say, Joe, because you know I
Correct.
got to
I'm
go.
not
Because
mad about anything.
no,
You
I'm
make it
talking
seem like
about
I'm
Lamont
rooting for Tank
Roach.
Davis.
I'm talking about Lamont Roach. You saying that if Lamont Roach is crying or doing this, he should have did this and did that. Well,
Yes.
and what I'm saying is because this won't be my last point, and I got to go because I got to get ready for a show. Now listen, it's easy for some people to say he should have did this and he should have did that. I
That's
think that's
right.
very, malicious.
Unfair of me, Corey. You think that's unfair of me?
Yeah, I think that's very unfair because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, right, if that call would have been made, no matter what we thought Tank Davis' mindset would have been, the scorecards would have favored Lamont Roach to be the new champion, and that would have changed the landscape of boxing, and this prima donna bitch era would have been over. Joseph Heron, you are the best
look,
in the
look,
business,
look,
fam.
look, it already has, Corey.
No.
Look, how many people now are favoring now Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis over Tank?
Yeah, that's the 1%
That's
of
already happened, Corey.
I know,
No,
but
no,
listen,
once again, you're making it seem like I'm pulling out the pom-poms or thing. I don't care.
no, I'm not
Neither one
talking
of these
about you.
assholes signed my paycheck, so I
No,
don't care.
I'm not
I'm
talking
just
about you.
listen, I'm explaining why they didn't overturn this.
And I know,
And
and
for
I'm
some
just being
reason, you can't answer, you can't understand that for some reason.
no, I do know you're explaining the rules of it, right? And
No,
I get that. That's right, you're right. But I'm being objective unto why the rules shouldn't always matter, bro. Like right here, this instance should change the landscape. Guess what? It's not gonna happen anymore for any other fighter because every fighter should be able to do this. And this is my last thing I want to say right here, right? When Tim Tszyu got elbowed with that Chinese chop from that 6'7", my guy is Sebastian Fundora, right? He had blood streaming all down his eyes. He
yep,
didn't drop to one knee and come say, wipe my face with the towel. He kept going, Joe. And the
yep,
referee wouldn't allow him to stop, right?
yep.
So my thing right here is I hate that for Lamont Roach, right? Because that's his moment. Everybody's supposed to be able to have their moment. We ain't gonna all reach our goals and what we want to do in life, but it comes certain moments that we reach and that we earn, right? And
Hooray, hold on, Hooray, hold on. What do you mean he's supposed to have his moment? Hey, listen to this. Listen to this. How's his stock looking right now?
Joe, listen to what I'm saying. This is
No. How's his stock looking right now, Correct?
not that good. I'm gonna
No.
say
It's looking great right now.
no. You asked
Everyone is
me.
really high
You
on
asked
Lamont
me.
Roach.
No,
It
you asked me.
happened.
You asked me how it's looking. It's not looking that good because guess what, Joe? In a couple of weeks, these fucking prima donna ass fans are gonna forget about that and they're gonna be back on a little tanky boat. And Tank
So
already
what the
said him.
fuck are we talking about?
No, but
So what are we talking about then?
no, you just made a statement and said that his stock went up, and I disagree with that because people are going to forget about this. And Tank said himself at the podium, "This is not nothing I'm making up. I'm not fighting Lamont Roach next." But Joseph,
Well,
I
look,
got to go.
no. He's
Huh?
he's got no. Look. This there are only two reasons why you're in this business, right? First reason is to make money. Second reason is to make more money. Okay. So if this pay per view did not make money, which it probably didn't, then yeah, there's more than likely no incentive for everyone involved to put together a rematch. But I'm going to say this with all of the controversy, and the rematch is going to be much bigger than the first one. It's in everyone's best interest to force the rematch, including the WBA, including PBC. And I'm sorry, we want to see the rematch. This is open ended. We did not get the resolution or the conclusion that we wanted.
Well,
In my opinion, it's in the best interest of everyone involved to put together a rematch. And look, no, go ahead. Keep
well,
going.
Joe, I wish, I had the enthusiasm, as you did, but about this, but I just got to go off Tank and the reality of Tank and what Tank has been over the years.
Okay, so tell me, what is the reality of Tank? Tell me.
The reality of Tank is he ain't fought no big fight since he been champ, right? He ain't fought the fights we wanted him to fight. And then he told us exactly what he was going to do after this fight, not fight Lamont
Yep.
Roach. And this is not going to do nothing for Tank because a lot of people around the world, whether we like what Tank do or not, they love Tank. They love him. I'm talking about the casual fans love
Well,
him.
dude, I look, honestly, you talk about all this Tank love, I don't see it. Because if that were the case, his pay-per-view would have done much better. And from what I'm hearing, early results are barely over 100,000 purchases. Yes, I said it.
Hey,
So
Joe.
where's the Tank love that you're talking about?
Joe,
No
Joe,
one cares anymore.
Joe, listen. Nobody didn't care about this fight. Right? We didn't care because we didn't think Lamont Roach, and I apologize to Lamont Roach. I already
No.
apologized.
You didn't think Lamont Roach.
No. Okay.
Brother, let me tell you a true story. Adam Lopez was at a fight party watching this, and he called me up and said, "Hey, how should I bet on this? My brother wants to bet me on the over/under." I said, "What does he want? What's the over/under?" And he said 8.5 rounds. And I said, "What is he taking?" He's taking the under. I said, "That's like taking candy from a baby." Dude, these guys have known each other since they were kids. A la Vernon Forrest, Sugar Shane Mosley.
Yeah, but that's
Okay,
one.
so I said, dude, this is going to prove to be a really difficult assignment for Tank Davis because this guy knows him. I said, take the over. You're going to win easy money. He won $40. So be careful when you say no one thought that Lamar. Dude, I knew this was going to be a tough fight.
Listen, I'm not saying that. Listen, nobody was picking Lamont Roach to win this fight, but a small percentage, Joe. That's what I meant. What I'm saying, right? But Joseph, you the best in the business, man. I got to get ready for my show tonight. Can I give a little drop?
No, absolutely. The floor is yours, my friend.
Everybody, y'all make sure y'all come to ILTBA Boxing Talk of the Spit Bucket Podcast. We're gonna be live tonight, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I gotta salute my guy Joseph Herring. He is the best in the business. Like real talk, I respect this guy like no other. Like when I first came in the game of this sports boxing thing, thinking I was big shit until I ran into a guy like him who had all the knowledge in the world, and I still learn from Joseph every day. When you talk about giving a guy his grace, that's what I do with Joseph. Like he give with James Gogi. That's how he Warwick Radio after Don Chargan. How he do with Ronnie Shields. Like I don't think nobody in this game know more about the sport than my guy Joseph. I may disagree with him, right? Sometimes, there's just sometimes, and it's just about this little tank thing. But I don't think it's nobody who knows the sport better who can break it down in the way he can professionally and maliciously. Joseph, I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, Corey, are you going live on your own channel?
Yeah, yes.
This is
Well,
not
we're gonna be
Bucket, this is
simultaneously.
IOTBA.
It's gonna be simultaneously. But they can
Very
come to
good. I tell you
ILTBA.
what, we're getting ready to sign off in a bit. We're going to rejoin you, and we're going to migrate over to your channel as soon as you go live, my friend, okay?
I'm finna catch the rest of your show, man.
All right. God bless you, Corey, and thank you for being a part of it, man. Guys, that was my brother in Christ, Corey Bradshaw. What a great guy. Great father, great guy, great boxing enthusiast, and the always charismatic delivery. Gotta love it. But look, guys, once again, I don't care about Tank Davis. I don't have a dog in the hunt. And I'm going to repeat myself. I'm just explaining the logic or the pretzel logic of the New York State Athletic Commission here, as well as the WBA. And I don't agree with it because, in my opinion, it should have been done correctly the first time. They should have scored in a knockdown. You know what? In my opinion, they should have at least deducted another point for Coach Calvin ignorantly coming on the ring apron. That's an automatic DQ in most fights. But I understand why they didn't do it, because the last thing you want to do after a seemingly uneventful fight up to that point is to end it in a DQ. That's terrible for the sport, terrible for the product. And it's not like he bit his damn ear off. That was the discretion of the ref, and that's what he decided, and that's it. Now, once again, I don't like it, but it is what it is. And honestly, if Tank Davis is going to show up and just phone in a performance like he did on Saturday night, last Saturday, then you know what? You might as well just retire then, brother, because I don't want to pay for it. Not only do I not want to see it, I don't want to pay for it. So Tank Davis, hey, it's been real and it's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. Sit your ass down. I don't care. So anyway, there it is, brother. And I want to thank Corey Bradshaw for the fiery discussion. I always love his enthusiasm, love his vigor. Hold on. That might have been even better if they did a DQ. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. You know how fired up Tank fans would have been. I tell you what, Iceman, love seeing you on the chat, man. My brother in Christ. God bless you, my friend. Hold on. Let's say hello to our dear friends in the chat. Hold on. Outlaw says, Jojo, calm down. Your blood pressure is going to go up. Brother, it's already 160 over 110. Yes, sir. It is. And now, my brother Rob Gonzalez, running by, doing his road work. He dropped off some sweet amber, so I'm going to be indulging from now until the end of the show. How do you like that? Here it is. Hype job, Tank Davis. Welcome to the show, sir. Says, so Joseph knows what an A side is when scoring, but not when these blunders get overlooked. Look, I'm saying don't put fights of this magnitude in New York anymore because they're completely out of practice. They can't even do club shows to stay sharp. Once again, guys, and most people don't, most fans don't understand the protocol, right? Like, think about this. Do you guys have any idea what it takes to become a ref at this level? You have to start being the referee at amateur bouts, USA Boxing. And then if you do a good job, then they promote you to club assignments in the pros. And then if you do a good job, they promote you to regional events. And then if you continue to do a good job, then they promote you to the big events, the championship level fights. And it takes a long time, just like a fighter from the 4, 6, and 8 round stages. But just like a fighter, if you're completely inactive, in which the New York State Athletic Commission has been completely inactive, they don't even have club shows any longer. They're out of practice, just like a fighter. Iron sharpens iron. You need to stay active. Or else what happens? Their timing is off. They show ring rust. They don't look as sharp as they should. It's the same thing in every facet of boxing, guys. So my question is, why the hell are they still staging shows in New York? Why? And we've got another big one coming up on May 2nd. Why? Hold on. Start taking fish oil for blood pressure, Jojo. It works. Look, what I've been taking is beetroot powder. And I've been drinking that every morning. And it has gone down. Thank you. Thank you, Outlaw, for your concern, brother. I appreciate it, man. And he says, Iceman says, one of my brothers wanted to be a football ref, but work got in the way. I don't know what that means, but yeah, okay. No referee wants to be Steve Willis. Look, I actually like Steve Willis, and he has a very good reputation. But look, without practice, you lose your sharpness. Without practice, you lose your edge. And that's what the New York State Athletic Commission has done. They don't have enough events to where they can stay sharp. And that's the reality of this. That's the reality of this, guys. Oh, that's Dr. Outlaw to you. Right on, brother. I'll tell you what, guys. Look, in my opinion, this has to be rectified by a rematch. It has to be. It has to be. Yes, G Funky, we got a ruling from the New York State Athletic Commission. They're not going to overturn this. And I explained why already. So, hey, man, if you have time, click the link. Would love to chop it up with my brother, G Funky Boxing. Guys, one of the most knowledgeable men on YouTube and now a member of this business, G Funky Boxing. Love you, brother. Tell you what, so once again, they are not overturning the decision, and I explained why they weren't. Okay, I got you, brother. But look, that's the reason. That's the reason, guys. And once again, I don't like it. I don't dislike it. I'm just giving you the info. I don't care. Once again, I'm just telling you guys for your benefit. That's the reason why they didn't overturn this. Because there are too many moving variables to overturn this. Because if they overturned the decision and gave it to Lamont Roach, it wouldn't be fair to Tank Davis then. Because if Steve Willis had done his job and scored a knockdown and then taken another point away for Coach Calvin getting on the ring apron, say that's a 10-7 round. You can't tell me that Tank Davis doesn't come out with a greater sense of urgency in round 10, 11, and 12. That changes the complexion of the fight. And once again, if Lamont Roach is being butthurt, well, you know what? BOOHOO. You should have done more in the first half of the damn fight. This brings about shades of Lamont Peterson versus Danny Garcia. Do you guys remember that fight? Lamont Peterson was up in arms, thought he got robbed. It's like, dude, how is it a robbery if you give away the first 7 rounds? Yeah, you whooped his ass royally in the last 5 rounds of the fight. But that means nothing if it goes to the judges' scorecards and you give away the first 7 rounds of that fight. Yes, it's official. It's not being overturned. And so you heard it here from speaking with several people involved. It's not being overturned. Yeah. Big Luke, love you, brother. Willis. G-Buggy says, Willis and the inspector in the corner made terrible mistakes. This is what happens when you're not used to working. This is what happens when you're not used to working. So, G-Funky, you talk to plenty of referees as well as inspectors. When you don't have any club shows, when you don't have any regional shows, you're out of practice. This is what happens. You blunder then in the big time events. In my opinion, they need to stop having big events in New York. You might as well have them in Utah or Oklahoma or Nebraska or DC. Look, the only states that I actually trust big events in to come off without a hitch are Texas, Nevada, and California at this time. Because those are the only states that consistently stage big-time events. G-Funky, am I wrong when I state that? And once again, guys, I don't have a dog in the hunt. I don't give a shit. It is what it is. There it is. So anyway, guys, look, I'll say this. Let's go back to Dana White. Hold on. Hackensack, New Jersey needs more shows. Look, dude, I would have felt better if it did take place in Hackensack, New Jersey. Shit. Dude, this is bad. This is a terrible look for the sport. Let's go back to Dana White, right? Let's go back to TKO. Oh, you know what? The best are going to fight the best. You know, really? Really? How's that possible? And once again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but the best have been fighting the best. Did we just not see a great event on February 22nd? So I'm sorry, the best haven't been fighting the best, Dana? Or have you just grown accustomed to casting aspersions about our beloved boxing? It's full of shit. It's full of shit. And I, for one, am tired of hearing it. Look, I'm happy that this is happening. Because now, Dana, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Do you have the infrastructure in place where you can generate our next superstars? Do you have the matchmakers in place? You know, we're going to, shut up. Kiss my ass. You've been regurgitating this nonsense. But do you know anything about cultivating and nurturing the next superstar of boxing? Do you understand what it takes to cultivate and nurture the next superstar of boxing? Do you have the matchmakers in place? Because you can't just snap your fingers and create the next superstar in boxing. It doesn't work like that. It takes time. Does he have the scouts in the amateurs right now to pull these guys out and sign them as pros? That's another thing, Outlaw. Can you see Oscar giving his talent to Dana White? I can't see it. What is he going to do? Oh, we're going to put on the best fighting the best. You know what? Shut the hell up. Because the best have already been fighting the best. This empty rhetoric is over. Now he's in the only thing, the best thing that's going to come out of this, I should say, is that now he can't badmouth boxing because he's a part of it. Hallelujah. What now, Dana? What now? What now, brother? Because in my opinion, this is going to look like the Contender Series all over again. Now, I don't want to badmouth any fighter because even at the club level, just stepping foot in the ring takes a lot of courage, bravery. But I'm sorry, talking about the best fighting the best have been fighting the best, you moron. So how do you propose getting the mainstream and casual audience involved in fighters that they've never seen before? How do you actually propose doing that? You can't just snap your fingers. Yeah, there it is, guys. What are you going to do now? His first event will be Crawford versus Canelo in the American market. And then what? And then what? You think all of these promoters who have taken great lengths, all of their resources involved, their matchmakers, their TV dates in cultivating this talent, they're just going to hand them over to Dana White? You really think that's going to happen? Guys, let's just be real here. He has no idea what he's doing. Dana, do you know what it takes to cultivate the next superstar of boxing? He's coming from a platform where he underpays his athletes and sticks them in tough because he doesn't care. He promotes the brand, not the fighter. So what does he actually know about cultivating talent? He doesn't. What is he going to do? I'm sorry, guys. He has no idea. How is he going to season a fighter from the 4, 6, and 8 round stages? Oh, I'm going to fight him right away. And you know what? This whole bullshit about guy being undefeated. Why is that happening, Dana? Why are promoters trying to build a fighter to that level? Why is it happening? He doesn't even understand why that happens. Do you really think he's going to be able to produce the next superstar of boxing by sticking a prospect in tough at the 4, 6, and 8 round stage. He doesn't know the half of it, guys. If I were a prospect and I had the opportunity to sign with Dana White's TKO, I would tell him not just no thank you, but get the fuck out of here. Because he has the potential of ruining your career. In the UFC, he doesn't care. He's the only racket in town. How is this going to work, guys? How is this going to work? Dana doesn't even know. Does he have any experience in cultivating a star of boxing? No, he doesn't. Tell you what, man, this is going to be really interesting, guys. And I will just say this. Hold on. G says, and Dana doesn't do cross promotion. Look, guys, this is going to resemble the Contender Series. It's not even going to be as good as Pro Box. Pro Box is doing an excellent job. It's not even going to look that good. Who's his matchmaker? You can't just snap your fingers and produce the next big star. It always happens organically. Guys, why do so many fans ride the jock of Canelo Alvarez? You can ask them, and they can't even tell you why. It happens organically. Why is Ryan Garcia so damn popular? No one knows. Well, they can always say, oh, well, he's just so popular on social media. But once again, I'm going to ask you, why? No one knows. No one knows, guys. The real bosses of boxing. You either support a fighter or you don't. Why? Why do you or do not support a fighter? That's the ticket. The only great thing that's going to come out of this is you're going to hear Dana White stop shitting all over our beloved boxing. That's going to be the best thing that comes out of this. Otherwise, it's going to look like the Contender Series. Hey, say hello to the next Sergio Mora, the Latin Snake. Say hello to the next Peter Manfredo Jr. Say hello to the next Brian Vetta, Cornelius Bundridge. Guys, this is what we're looking at. Oh, the best are going to be fighting the best. Really? Explain how. Explain how, because correct me if I'm wrong, we've been seeing the best fight the best. Give me an example where the best haven't been fighting the best in boxing over the last 3 years. Dana, are you going to force Canelo to fight David Benavidez? That would be a neat trick. I'll say this again. You could put a dot on the top of his head and it would look like my dick. Because that's what he is. He's a prick. So he talked himself into this. He's been bad-mouthing the sport of boxing for so long that now he's talked himself into this situation. And now what, Dana? What are you going to do now? Oh, the best's going to fight the best. Really? Didn't we just see Beterbiev fight Bivol? Aren't we seeing Jaron Boutsenis fight Amantis Stanionis at 47? So what the hell is he talking about? Where is he going to get the best? He hasn't cultivated anyone. And if he's trying to bank on getting someone who's a free agent and unsigned, is that really the best? He's full of shit, guys. He's so full of shit, his eyes are brown. And it's going to come to a head finally. Now, once again, his first matchup is going to be two free agents, Canelo versus Crawford. What next? What next? He doesn't have a clue. Does he have the matchmakers in place to cultivate the next big stars? He doesn't have a clue, guys. And there it is. There it is, guys. And look, we've been on the air now for 91 minutes, and that's about it. So, guys, on behalf of my brother, Corey Bradshaw, thank you for joining me, my friend. I'm Joseph Heron. You've been listening to War Week Boxing Chats. Have a great evening, everybody.